Hello and welcome back to Redneck Snack and Food Reviews. Alright, so I can't really show you this opening it and show you the top of it, the inside of it, because I've already had a third of this, I would say. But I'm doing a review for Ben and Jerry's cinnamon and chocolate ice creams with gobs of cinnamon dough and spicy fudge brownies. And I think it's a pretty solid flavor, but I just want to walk y'all through it in a review. I don't like what this ice cream stands for, however. Um, well, yeah, I would say I don't think I like what it stands for. There are some political things about it that I'm not very fond of. But the thing is, I'm not buying ice cream to make a political statement. So, there's the thing. I'm buying it because I want to try it. It looks good, and I don't care what it stands for. So, that's that. So, you got the definition of this ice cream. It's called Justice Remixed. I do support justice for all. But I think there's certain viewpoints that Ben and Jerry's has that goes outside the lines of justice and creates injustice for some. So I think it's a bit hypocritical for them to call, their agenda justice, when not all of it is justice. Yes, a lot of their agenda does speak for all people, but a lot of their agenda is very controversial, as is that side of the spectrum, in my opinion. So, I don't like the name of it, and I guess what it stands for. I guess I mean there's some things about this, but criminal justice reform, I suppose they're trying to. I know they're against guns, that's for sure. So I suppose this is probably. I mean, this is. Well, reading this, it's just talking about um, investing in people instead of prisons, which makes sense. But I'm sure there's points that I just don't agree with because I've read their politics and it's just But we're not here to talk about politics. We're here to talk about ice cream and how good this flavor is and not what this ice cream stands for. And I'm not here to tell you to get this ice cream because of what it stands for. I'm sitting here telling you I'm buying this ice cream in spite of the fact that I might not agree with everything that they stand for. So yeah, let's just try this. I've rambled on long enough. But I think it's a pretty solid ice cream, and I think I would recommend it. I just got to give y'all my definition and my opinion on this stuff. It's a very good mixture. I think what hits you first is the cinnamon, and then chocolate sneaks on in there. I really wish they made cinnamon buns, like chocolate cinnamon buns, that went this hard. Because it's good. If they made a brownie cinnamon bun hybrid in the real world, that would be so awesome. They've made hot cocoa. Pillsbury's has made hot cocoa cinnamon rolls, but I don't think they're all that. But this ice cream's really good. And I'm going to give this a 10. I would highly recommend getting it. Whether or not you agree with the political standpoint of this ice cream. I think what I read here is pretty good. Um, Investing in people rather than prisons, but I think what I disagree with that is I think their agenda when it's talking about reforms for people, it's probably talking about the emphasis of welfare and all that, and like free college and stuff. And as nice as that is, it's like you are taking money. The taxes are paid by the working citizen, and as good as it is to give back to the underprivileged people of this country, I think the way our system is it's very flawed. I think in terms of, and not to go too far into this, but I mean this. I'm reviewing this ice cream, so I can basically review the meaning of this ice cream too, not just the flavor. I give the flavor a 10. I highly recommend it. Um, but again, I think that some of the money goes towards this stuff, political action. Um, but my thing is, you know, if you are unemployed and you haven't tried, and I know it can be discouraging for some people in terms of like trying to get employed, but if you haven't tried, let's say, I guess in the last, and 6 months is even generous. If you haven't tried to like get um a job, or you don't at the very least, and there's a what's the word? There's exemptions. There's exemptions, I would say, but my policy would be if you haven't sought employment in the last 6 months, and at least don't have like a children or a disability, or some valid excuse. Um, I really don't think you should have that access. I mean, there are valid excuses. There are lack of transportation. There's lack of ability to perform in the workplace, and there's lack of ability. That's pretty much it. And even lack of transportation. That's a lack of an ability. If you don't have the ability to be able to go and get a job, then you deserve these reforms for you. But if you flat out have an ability, you have the time, you have all the resources you need, and you're not trying at the very least. I'm not saying you have to, be getting a job, but if you're not trying on a consistent basis, I just don't think you deserve this type of welfare. You know, you if you're able, you gotta be able to provide for this country, and you gotta be able to try. You know, if you're not actively pursuing, what good are you doing for this country, and what good is this country doing for you? Um, giving you free stuff. There's a fine line of who deserves this stuff and who doesn't. And I think when these companies and all these politicians, when they lean to these reforms, they don't consider that. And I know it would be a hard job to like facilitate that. But the thing is, you have to consider that. This shouldn't be um, welfare for all who are unemployed. This should be welfare for all who are either disadvantaged. Oh, no, just keyword disadvantaged. Because if you're at least seeking a job and you're not finding luck, you're disadvantaged. So, I don't get, you know, why some of the people who end up with welfare checks, why they end up with them, you know. And it's because our system is flawed and we don't have strict limitations. And so I don't quite agree with Ben and Jerry's platform, but I kind of agree with it. You see what I'm saying? There are good points to it, but there are also bad points, you know. So that's just what I think. Um, But yeah, and like with the prison thing, um, you know, a lot of people do end up in prison because they're underprivileged, and that's a better place for them than in their mind. That's a better place for them to go than be on the streets, which, it's tough, and I think we should help those people, but again, we need to be able to understand, you know, who really truly needs this and who doesn't. Because if you're not, trying to survive in this country, if you're not putting your effort into things, um, why should our country give to you? That's just what I think. I think, you know, everything in terms of politics, it's just a bunch of nonsense, and that we should work for the better of all people. But in that, you have to work for the better of yourself. And, if you can do things yourself, go do it. You know, I find myself uh, avoiding things that I should be going and doing. And that's my responsibility to go do something. And, if you see someone disadvantaged, you help them. But, there's a fine line between disadvantage and lazy, and that's just my opinion. We need an agenda that helps the disadvantaged, doesn't help the lazy. That's just what I'm saying. And I know a lot of people get stubbed toes over all that. And I've gone on so long on this. And, this is supposed to be an ice cream review. But I just want to tell y'all what I thought about, the meaning of this ice cream. Because it's more than just an ice cream flavor. Obviously, the Ben& Jerry's is more than ice cream flavor. What I would say is, do buy the ice cream. If you don't agree with the politics, I don't know, join the cause for what you believe in. I mean, honestly, in my standpoint, I don't think there's much of a movement for, what I believe in. I think it's either give it welfare to all or give it to nobody. And like, I'm just like, no, that's just not how it works. That's not how it should work. There are certain people that do need it, and there are certain people that don't. And these sides, they seem to rage on. One says everyone deserves it, and another says no one deserves it. I'm just like, no. Forget the politics. Think with reason, and that's how it is. So I don't like how Ben& Jerry's got political with this, but that's their right. It's my right not to buy this ice cream, but I bought it because it was an intriguing flavor. And, it made for an intriguing talk, review, whatever y'all want to call this. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind expressing my opinion, and I know there's going to be stub toes. And I know y'all might be like, well, he's a little bit harsh. But the thing is, I'm just being straightforward and honest on what I believe. And, I'm not saying all people deserve this and no one deserves this. I'm saying this group, yes. This group, no. Which is completely fine in my opinion. You know. Um there's nothing that makes this discriminatory. It's just like one group does things, which is the group who's trying or is disadvantaged by any means, and one group doesn't do anything, and they just like they have the opportunity. They might have, they probably have the ability to, go to the workplace they want to work at, and they just sit there and they don't do nothing, and that's part of the reason why I can't agree with, either side, is because, you know, it's not black and white. It's a gray area type of thing. That's how it is for everything, for the most part. But yeah, I mean, I sit here and eat this Ben and Jerry's because it's good. Some people sit around and don't eat Ben and Jerry's because of politics. Other people sit around and don't eat eat Ben and Jerry's just because of their politics. So I don't know. You tell me what you think of Ben and Jerry's and what you think of this ice cream message. Because I've gone on too long. But again, it's a 10. It's a solid flavor. It's got chocolate. It's got brownie. It's got cinnamon. It's got cinnamon bun pieces. So, and it's got all the politics to go with it if you like to read politics, which some people love to read and talk about it. Other people like forget that. So, I'm not typically a political person, so I apologize if you're annoyed by this video, but I will put in the title, and it should say in the title, Ben and Jerry's review with a political discussion, even though not really political, because I'm in the gray area here, just saying what I think is true, what I feel like should be true. I don't know what y'all think. Some people just think crazy things, in my opinion. So we'll see how this gets responded to. But yeah, I hope y'all are having a good Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow with more reviews, I'm sure. This was good ice cream. I hope you liked this video. Subscribe to my account, share this video, comment on it. I know I'll probably get some comments, maybe. Check out my Instagram, Redneck Snacking Food, and hopefully I didn't make anyone too upset or rile anybody up. But if I did, I apologize, and I hope y'all have a good day. All right, I'll see y'all around. Yeah.